Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. Make sure you watch my video till the end to get a sneak peek at my next video, and please subscribe. Today I'm going to make this really pretty pink Harvest Blessing grapevine wreath. The cool thing about this wreath is it can be an everyday wreath and it can also be a fall wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm going to start by making a bow. I wanted to make a pretty large bow for this wreath, so I'm doing 5.5 inch loops on each side. And if you want a more detailed instruction on how I make a bow using a bow dabra, I'll link to the video here. And then after I do 3 on each side at 5.5, I come in and I do 2 on each side at 5, and then I do 1 single loop in the middle at 4. Off camera, I slid a pipe cleaner through the zip tie on the back before I tightened it, and then I fed the pipe cleaner on either side of the grapevine wreath and then twisted it 3 times. And now I'm just going to start by adding all of my greenery. Most of the time when I do a grapevine wreath, I like to get an idea of how far around I'm going to go. So I will kind of map that out with the first flowers or greenery I put down. It just keeps me in a certain area. I also, every once in a while, will start from the middle and make my way through. I just like to work with one color at a time. I'm not sure why. But with this wreath, I knew I wanted to cover most of the grapevine. And my goal with this wreath was to make it where when you take the Harvest Blessing sign off, it can be an everyday wreath. And then, when it's fall again, you can just stick the sign back on there. So there's not really any pumpkins or anything like that to make this feel like fall. Alright, now I'm just going to add my off-white colored flowers. They're mums. And then these pink hydrangeas. And I cut up all my flowers and I stick them into a magazine rack from Dollar Tree that I turn on the side. It's got lots of holes in it. It just makes my life easier. One thing I learned with this particular wreath is sometimes if you have a long stem, you want to test it before you put glue on it to see if it'll fit, because you may have to trim it. And then you want to go in at an angle, not straight up and down. That's the best way to get the glue to grab. Alright, now I'm doing these, I think they're kind of a brown color hydrangea, because they're not super yellow, they're kind of creamy. And these were called sunflowers, I believe, and they're pink. And they have this really pretty, like, burlap center. When I go to Dollar Tree, that's where I get most of my flowers. I like to take bundles and hold them together to see what they'll look like. And that way I know what colors I want to put with what. Like, I knew I liked the pink berries with the hydrangeas, and I really wanted to use the brown color hydrangeas, so that's kind of where I started. And then everything else just came together. I'm not making this super poofy. It's just kind of all uniform along the wreath. Oh, and right there, if you have a flower or a leaf that's not doing what you want it to do, you can add glue to it and just press it down where you want it to stay. Like that one, it kept opening. And like I always say, make sure you are putting stuff on either side of your bow. Because if you have it hanging on your door and you open and shut your door, you're going to see different angles of your wreath. Sorry it's in your face, but I wanted to see what it looked like sitting up, so I would know where to add my berries. If you've never done a grapevine wreath, I think you should at least try it once. It's a lot of fun. You just kind of get to go crazy and stick things wherever you like them. There's no rules. You can just do what makes you happy. I had one single piece of ribbon left. It was like 12 inches, and I cut it in half, and I used a zip tie to attach it. That's what I was just showing you there. And on the back of that, I added a zip tie through it. I took that zip tie, I know I'm saying zip tie a lot, and fed that through a piece of the grapevine wreath and then tightened it. This made it where it looks like my tails are longer than they actually are, so I got to use the entire roll of ribbon. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to have any tails because of how large I made my ribbon. That's just a little trick you can do if you want tails. Okay, so to add my sign, I'm using some cardboard. That's all I could find. And I'm hot gluing 2 pieces together to make it thicker. And that's just so it doesn't move anywhere. And then I just stapled a pipe cleaner. And I'm going to feed this through the grapevine. You can see right there it goes through. And then I twist it 3 times to secure. And I did go through and add these yellow flowers after the fact. I completely forgot to add them when I was recording. But that's it. That's how I made my Harvest Blessing everyday wreath. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for watching. And if you learned anything or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.